Exactly what I'm saying. All right, that means we are live. So, hello, folks. I don't have any panelists as yet. Don't know if they have anybody out there watching this yet either. It says there's one over on Rumble. So, whoever's over on Rumble, evening to you. Doesn't say I have anybody anywhere else yet. Trying to get the X feed pulled up so I can get the chat window for that. So, in case anybody pops in over there. There we go. I got that too now. So it always takes a minute to get the X because it doesn't actually show up until you go live with it. So. And if you don't have that pulled up, and again, I forgot to check to see if the verify thing is a default or if I got to change that or what have you. So if you're over on X watching and you can't chat, again, that's probably my fault. So, yeah, it is what it is there. So, yeah, we got Mr. Gizzard Gary popping in. You there, Gary?
I don't know, am I?
I don't know. Sorry about the Buffalo game today.
Yeah, I can't say as I'm surprised, really.
Yeah,
I'm not even that upset about it, to tell you the truth. I think maybe they need to get one out of their system, to be honest.
I saw that score right before I went live.
They didn't play good enough to win. They didn't. No.
Yeah.
Mahomes was not on target with his passes at all. Did he make good choices? No. Not at all.
Well, we had basically the same thing with the Steeler game. It was the defense that won that game.
I caught part of your game, well, mainly because they didn't cut over to the damn Chiefs game until the Steelers game was over, so I had to watch the end of it. But
yeah, CBS is good for that.
Whether I liked it or not, I wanted to watch the damn Lions game today, but
they crushed the Jaguars.
The NFL, in their wisdom, decided that wasn't in my market, so
yeah.
I got the Steelers. The choice between that or the Bears game, which Bears game actually turned out to be a pretty good game, although that ended pretty much the same as the Chiefs games did last week.
That Lions Jaguars game wasn't really a game. It was 52-6.
Bears were set up to kick a winning field goal, and it was blocked. Yep.
Yeah, sounds like the Bears.
They're playing the Packers, too. Would have been nice to win. It was a good game.
Yeah. The NFC North is shaping up to be interesting this season. Once you get past Detroit, anyway.
But hey, my Kansas Jayhawks knocked off Brigham Young University, the first team to do so this year. So,
you think Notre Dame will beat Army next week?
Where's it at?
Yankee Stadium.
Probably not.
Yeah, Army's got a good team this year. They're undefeated.
Yes, they are. If they were playing at Notre Dame, they might have a chance of pulling it out.
Yeah, it'd be number 8 as it's sat on Saturday. Number 8 versus number 16.
There's some pretty good games this weekend.
Mm-hmm. It says we got 5 people out there on the YouTubes now. Ron Wayne's out there. Evening, Ron.
Hey, Ron.
He says, "Duh Bears."
I was hoping. I've been kind of rooting for him since, Ovi's a big fan and all that. And I've never ever actually hated the Bears, to tell you the truth.
I never either.
Now, growing up, for some reason, I was kind of a Green Bay fan too. But
yeah, well, my grandfather outside of the Steelers was all about Green Bay.
That all amounts to, when I was a little kid, somebody in my family bought me a shirt or something, had Green Bay Packers on it. So, what the heck, That's also a big Redskins fan too at the time, because both my sisters lived in the DC area. So I got a lot of their stuff. One thing you could pretty much say about it is I hope there's nobody out there that's from North Texas, because I think everybody around here, at least in my family, grew up to hate the Dallas Cowboys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't have any animosity to the Redskins till we moved to her hometown, because right about that time is when CBS got the AFC, and if Washington was playing at 1 o'clock, generally speaking, that means that the local CBS channel out of DC wasn't going to be playing the Steeler game. So that got to be a little annoying.
Caesar, get out of there. Get cat.
Yeah, Ron Two-Way Matters out there in the YouTube chat now. Evening news or tale of two Rons out there.
It's to do Ron, I guess you could call it almost.
But actually, being from Pittsburgh, we appreciated the Redskins because they would be the ones that the Steelers would always do their training scrimmages against, both teams. So, in a way, they helped prepare the Steelers for the season coming up. So, we didn't hold any animosity in Pittsburgh for the Redskins.
No, but I think there's at least one thing you and I could agree on. We both hated the Oakland Raiders with a passion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a given. Didn't care for the Cowboys very much either.
If you grew up in Kansas City, back then that was your mortal enemy, was the Oakland Raiders.
Yeah. Well, in the 70s, the Raiders became the Steelers' mortal enemies too, especially when it came to the playoffs.
Baseball, it was the Yankees. Didn't like the Yankees. Still don't like the Yankees.
Baseball, particularly in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, Atlanta Braves and the Cincinnati Reds were the teams at Pittsburgh you didn't really care for. And you didn't like the Yankees either, because I believe almost every World Series the Pirates have ever played in was against the Yankees.
Now, you're going to hurt Ron Wayne's feelings if you talk badly about the Cincinnati Reds.
Well, he probably feels the same way about the Pirates.
I'm going to say he's from Kentucky. Come on. That's Reds territory. I don't know if he's a Bengals fan or not.
Is anybody?
Oh, DM Foss is out there. Wow.
He says he sent Misty something from Amazon.
Cool.
Yeah, Ron Wayne said they're making Ron great again in the chat. Says we got 8 out there on the YouTube side now.
I was thinking of doing a makeup show late tonight, but I don't know if I'm up to it or not.
Yeah, what happened Friday?
Paul Tyson.
I heard that there was a lot of people that had problems watching that fight because Netflix kept screwing up.
I and the hens were talking amongst each other, and we were interested in it, so we started watching it. It's like, this isn't going to get over with by the time it's time to go live for the show. And so I come on and said it was going to be delayed for a while, and then it was getting pretty obvious. No, this isn't going to start till closer to 10, 11 o'clock. So finally, I'd already invested that much time in it, and then Netflix started giving everybody hell. At that point, I figured I pretty much lost most of my audience anyway, so.
Yeah, but I just want to go on the record. On Wednesday, Gary's Wednesday night show, folks, for his channel members, he put out a poll. I was the only one that voted that Jake Paul was going to win. Just saying. And
that, I will go on record right now saying that was not a real fight in any way, shape, or form. It was an exhibition. It was, I'm pretty much guessing it was scripted. But I will say this, I got to see a couple really good preliminary fights before that. One of them between a couple gals that were title contenders, and they were really going at it with each other. So there was some good boxing action going on. Unfortunately, it was not in the main event.
Now, I may have upset Misty because she says she was a Braves fan. Defense Dad's out there in the chat now. So, evening to you, Defense Dad.
Got all these people who live in states that don't have professional sports franchises. It's not hardly fair.
Yeah.
Well, Foss, I guess they could kind of have professional sports franchises.
Yeah.
Nah, the Seahawks, I think, did all right today, didn't they?
I don't know.
I saw an update that said that they were.
Find out.
They were doing well. Ghost Tactical's out there talking about Serrano and Taylor. That was one heck of a match. Oh, man. That was good.
Yeah, Seahawks beat the Niners by 3, 20-17.
That's what I thought. Because I saw a highlight from that game.
The Broncos beat up on the Falcons 38-6. Still not as bad as that Lions game. That score was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, Moo was watching it, and I was gonna watch it, and then I found out it wasn't available in my area, so it's like, eh. So it was either the Bears Packers or the Steelers, and who you guys playing?
Ravens.
Ravens is what I thought.
Yeah, the first.
Actually, I had that up on YouTube for a while on a split screen, so I could go back and forth between the two games.
Yeah, that was the first division game the Steelers played so far this season. All their division games are going to be in the second half. Then you play a single division game in the first half of the season.
Misty's bringing up Chipper Jones. Wow.
Yeah, there's a name from the past.
I know.
And that traitor Sid Bream.
Oh, I remember Sid Bream. And I'm sure you do too.
Yes.
Man, the Pirates had that.
Mm-hmm.
Had being the operative term here.
Yeah. And that was the last year they were any damn good, too.
Foss says no one cares about the Steelers. Wow.
The number of fans that show up with terrible towels at every game they're at, whether they're home or away, tends to say otherwise.
Do you have to buy those, or they give them away to people when they come in?
No, you got to buy them. I got one right here somewhere. Actually, I got two.
Does anybody cheat and just go to Dollar General and buy a cheap old tea towel that's yellow or anything like that?
Oh, hell, you can buy them in just about every store in Pittsburgh. Supermarkets sell them. Dollar General probably sells them.
So does the original guy still own a patent on that?
He's dead. Myron Cope's the one who came up with that.
Figured his family, maybe.
I don't know. I don't know who actually owns the rights to it, to be honest.
Where they sold the rights. Mud Dogs. Wow.
Myron Cope, he passed away a few years ago. Quite a few years ago now.
But I got a feeling, going back to the Chiefs and the Bills, that the Chiefs better go back to practice and figure out what the heck they're doing, because if they're going to go back to the Super Bowl, got a feeling they're going to have to go back through Buffalo at some time or another, either at home or on the road. If they keep winning, they can at least lock down home field advantage. But who knows?
It's going to be an interesting season. The rest of the way. That's for sure.
It should be. There's a game tonight. Who plays tonight? Cincinnati Bengals are in Los Angeles against the Chargers. In fact, that game is underway. In the first quarter, the Chargers lead 7-3.
Today was the second game this season the Steelers won without scoring a touchdown.
Monday night is the Texans and the Cowboys in Dallas. Can the Cowboys win another game? Or will there be another disappointment in AT&T Stadium this week? Wow. Next week, the Steelers go to Cleveland to take on the Browns.
Who lost today?
Thursday night.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they got a short week.
My Chiefs have to go to Carolina on Sunday.
Why?
It's on the schedule. That's why.
Carolina should just forfeit now.
Just give them a little bit of a break, maybe. So they can lick their wounds a little bit. Maybe.
You can start the second string and probably beat them. Carolina ain't very good, folks, if you don't know.
Let's just hope the Chiefs don't play down to their opponents.
Yeah. Kind of hard to play down to the Carolina Panthers, especially after they just traded away their good players this week at the trade deadline. So, are they trying to rebuild, or do they just want to keep losing?
So how come in the Rumble studio it only picks up some of the comments from YouTube?
I don't know. I've wondered that myself.
Let's see. Well, yeah, it doesn't get them all. Weird. Who knows?
I don't know.
Let's see what else is going on. It's November the 17th. Nothing special about that.
Oh, Iran's Ayatollah may either be just in a coma or dead. Which could be interesting. See what happens over there. If he's dead, they're saying that his son may be the one replacing him.
I guess on Saturday Night Live on Saturday that Mr. Baldwin was back, this time impersonating RFK Jr.
Okay. One of the things going around on X today was a clip of William Shatner on that show that Bill Maher hosts, not his normal show, but this new one where they sit around getting drunk and high. And Shatner's like, I don't get why the Democrats lost. He's like, the economy's getting better and a bunch of other stuff. It sounded high as hell.
So evidently in the Raiders game today, Brock Bowers did the Donald Trump dance in the end zone after scoring a touchdown. That's trending.
That's becoming the trend. Last night at the UFC fight, the guy that's the world champ, Trump was in attendance, and he goes and gives Trump the belt, and does the Trump the Trump dance in the octagon while he's being interviewed by Joe Rogan after the fight. Last week, the Bosa brother that plays for San Francisco, he got fined by the NFL for wearing a MAGA hat while photo bombing somebody else's interview after the game they played 2 weeks ago. So he gets a sack last week. I think they were playing Jacksonville. And him and the defensive line all start doing the Trump dance in celebration of him getting the sack in that game. So it's becoming a trend for sure. People going around doing the Trump dance.
He said he didn't care about the fine. He said it's worth every penny.
Yep, and he said, I'll do it again too. If they want to find me again, so be it.
I think athletes are just tired of the bullshit.
I think everybody's tired of the bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been keeping up with the voting results?
Haven't looked in on them lately.
Kamala Harris has been closing the gap on the popular vote, surprisingly. I mean, that is with all due sarcasm.
I mentioned that last week. I said the Trump share of the popular vote has went from 50.9 down to 50.1 just about every time you turn around. About every other day it goes down 0.1%. It's like, they're trying to sneak those numbers up. It don't matter though. But
last I looked was yesterday or 2 days ago, and Trump was at 76 million and she was at like 72.5.
Right now, looking at the Associated Press, we have Trump with 76.4 million, Harris with 73.7 million.
So it's closed up even more. That's ridiculous. I mean, what are they trying to improve here by doing this shit? It's like, seriously.
Well, my theory is they want to get Trump down to below 50% so they can say, see, he didn't get a majority of the votes. It's only a plurality.
Mm-hmm. It don't matter.
No, it don't.
It's like, what is the point? You lost.
It's all a game.
gotta wait for that runoff, or not runoff, recount in PA to see who the senator is. On election night, the Republican Dan McCormick won, but with enough, but the differential was small enough where it triggered an automatic recount in PA. And the Democrats wanted to count illegal ballots. They're petitioning the courts to let them count illegal ballots in Pennsylvania in that race.
Of course they are.
Mm-hmm. So we may not know who has that Senate seat for a little while yet.
Did you send a link to all these people out there in the chat so they could jump in here too?
I've sent it to Foss. I know that. I mean, I could send one to Ron if he wants to jump on. Ron Wayne, that is. I don't have the other Ron's email.
Ron on a live stream? Nah.
Yeah.
Not very often, anyway. Mm-hmm. It has been done. I mean, I've seen it, but
Ron Two-Way Matters?
No, Ron Wayne.
Yeah, so I could send one to Ron Wayne if he wants to jump on, and I don't have Ron Two-Way Matters. Because I just said Ron, I said, well, I don't have Ron Two-Way Matters anymore.
Well, you can't just include Ron. You got to include Misty, too.
Well, she pretty much is a
They're not the same. They're not the same person.
I know that.
I've seen them both. They are not the same person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, they could both just go into the studio and that they built.
It's a nice studio.
Mm-hmm.
I'm jealous. That studio is probably as big as my whole apartment is. So. I was telling people, I said, I'm glad that I went to all the trouble of buying a nice brand new big TV for my living room so I could watch the Chiefs lose. First full game I ever watched on it.
Yeah, that's why they lost. You bought the new TV.
I know.
You jinxed it.
It is nice, though. Just got to figure out what to do with that huge box it came in.
Find a spot in the closet and store it.
Yeah, right. So it might go under my bed.
Yeah, that'll work too. With these flat screens, I never throw away the box. Amy may not listen and it'll get thrown away, but I tell her not to, but she does whatever she wants sometimes.
Well, I haven't thrown it away yet. Moose suggested that be George's new play box. I said, no. I said, it's full of styrofoam and packing material. It's not empty.
Mm-hmm. That won't stop a cat from trying to get in there.
No, it won't. But it's closed up and leaning against a wall right at the moment. Out of the way.
When I first got my monitor, one of the cats, when they were still a kitten, got themselves stuck in the box sandwiched between the two pieces of styrofoam. Wow. All you heard was this really faint meow, like meow, 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 real quietly. He's like, where the hell is that coming from? And it's like, they're in the damn monitor box.
I'm thinking either selling or giving away my old TV. Mainly because I don't want to haul it down to the dumpster. That thing weighs pretty close to 50 pounds.
Donate it to the local.
Well, it still
nursing home or
works.
something.
Somebody could take it and use it.
Donate it to the local nursing home. Write it off on the taxes.
Well, they'd still have to come get it. I ain't gonna deliver it to them.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd hate to ask too much for a 15-year-old TV.
Mm-hmm. There's always Goodwill or a thrift store. Here, see if you can get anything for this.
That's the thing is, most of the poor people around here, if they have anything, they probably have a TV.
You'd be surprised how many people are looking for a second TV or third, something even for their kids' room.
Heck of it is nowadays, if you want to buy a small one, like for a bedroom, they're practically giving them away.
Mm-hmm.
Like the little 24s, they're not very much money at all now.
24s really never were all that expensive.
That's not big enough, though, for me.
The average number of TVs in a home is 2 to 3 per house or per household.
Yeah, but I've got 2 just by myself. George doesn't need his own TV. And strictly speaking, I can watch TV here on my computer on this screen too. So.
Mm-hmm. That's what I do. I just watch whatever on my computer monitor.
But I gotta admit, it's more comfortable to go sit in the living room now that I have a recliner in there. I say I was watching the Chiefs game. I may have taken a nap during the first half. Just saying. All I know is I was watching it was early in the first quarter. Next thing I know, it's halftime and I'm waking up. It's like, oh, okay.
Well, Steelers should have had 2 more touchdowns. Should have had 2 touchdowns in that game, or at least one, because 2 that happened on the same drive, where they had scores of over 70 yards be called back on really ticky-tacky penalties.
Here's another one of these random people sending me a friend request on Facebook. I have absolutely no idea who it is.
Yeah, that happens.
Usually females.
Mm-hmm.
With 2 first names.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
No bio information whatsoever.
You get that on X too. Like some random person that has they're following 7,000 people and have maybe 100 followers. It's like, yeah, okay. And then when you click on their account, there's nothing posted.
This person has no friends.
Oh no.
Gee, I could be young Sandra's first friend.
Damn, I can't quit yawning.
Wake up, Rich.
Huh?
I said, wake up.
I haven't been sleeping well. Again. Part of it's that damn dog of hers.
Always blame the dog.
Well, she's got the dog where she's got to jump up on the bed now because she's had her on the bed since she was a little puppy. And she likes to kick in her sleep, and guess who's getting kicked constantly by her dog?
I don't know. You?
Yeah, good guess. What's really bad is she's
kick the
been
dog back.
Lately she's been thinking around 12, 1 o'clock in the morning is playtime, and wakes me up because she wants to play. It was like when I get run up and down by the dog, it's like George Jefferson walking on Bentley's back, and only I don't want the dog to be doing that. I'll put the dog on the floor, and the little brat will jump right back up again. Try to go lay in her bed. It's like, I want to be in your bed.
Well, how about that? I did a reverse image search on that image from that Facebook account, and it turns out to be from a Threads account from somebody named Nurse Becky.
Can't say I'm surprised by that either.
Yeah, me either.
It says here there's 2 people watching on X. Over on X. Somebody's watching. Don't know who, because they haven't said anything. Probably me and you.
Probably.
Any new notifications? No. So what else has been happening this week? Oh, do you see where Biden gave Ukraine permission to use U.S. long-range missiles to attack Russia?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that's been all the thing on X today too. Are they trying to start World War III before Trump takes office?
Sounds like it.
Yeah, it doesn't sound good, that's for sure. And only halfway in, or not even halfway through the show, and I'm already ready to go to bed.
Well, that's not good.
I know there was something else I wanted to talk about tonight, but Dan, if I can remember what the hell it was. I need to start taking notes.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching the Notre Dame game yesterday, and I
Mm-hmm.
swear every commercial break had 1 or 2 commercials for that stupid Wicked movie that's going to be coming out.
Oh, yeah. I saw that, too.
Yeah, it's like, I have no desire to see that movie whatsoever. The play was supposed to be okay, depending on who you talk to. But the movie looks like it's just going to be a bunch of woke nonsense. I have no desire to see. I don't think they're going to make any money on it.
Probably not, but you never know.
One person I watch on YouTube, it's a movie critic, and he got the screener that they send out to critics of it, and his one comment was, "I don't want to say that they turned the Wicked Witch and Glinda into lesbians, but."
Wow.
Yeah. He's like, they sure as hell hint at it. So, yeah. I mean, it just doesn't seem like it's going to be all that great. Did you know James Carville released a movie?
No.
Yeah. Grossed all of, I think they said $400,000. It cost them about $20 million to make. So apparently, neither did a lot of other people. And it came out earlier this year.
Say who watched it? Wasn't me.
It had to have been very limited release. Foss's Box Spider of the North? Maybe? Yeah, the name of Carville's movie was, what was it now? It's about winning stupid or something like that. I thought Glinda was from the north, not the south.
I lost track, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, because you had the Wicked Witch of the East was the one that was crushed by the house. Her sister, the Wicked Witch of the West, and I thought Glinda was the Good Witch of the North. Maybe it was so. I don't know. Can't say I really like the Wizard of Oz either. So my mother used to have to watch that movie constantly if it was on, which thankfully, when I was a kid, was very rarely. It showed it like once a year.
Yeah, I've seen it a few times.
Then you had The Wiz, which that was different.
Never seen it.
You never seen The Wiz with Diana Ross and Michael Jackson?
Mm-mm.
Jackson played the Scarecrow. Back when he was black still. It came out, what, late 80s? I mean, late 70s, rather?
Sounds about right. It's a long time ago.
Yeah. I think Jeff Goldblum's the one playing the wizard in Wicked. Sounded like his voice anyway in the commercials. Fox said it had Nipsey Russell as the Tin Man. It's been so long since I've seen that movie. I don't remember who played what. Other than Jackson was the Tin Man, and I think Diana Ross was Dorothy, if I remember right, or their equivalent. I don't remember if they kept the name Dorothy for the main character or not. Was Ross the witch? Damn, I can't remember. It's been so, like I said, it's been forever since I've seen it. I was a little kid the last time I saw it. They don't show that very often on television. And if they had, I didn't watch it. But let's find out. There's this thing called the internet.
I've heard of it.
Let's see, cast. Yeah, Dinah Ross played Dorothy Gale. They kept the same name. Mabel King was the witch. Richard Pryor was the wizard. Lena Horne was Glinda. So, yeah. Teresa Merritt was Auntie M. Harry Madsen was Cheetah. I guess did they turn the lion into a cheetah?
Wow.
That's different. They said it was different. It was definitely different. That's most of the people in this movie I've never heard of. Whoa, there's a white guy in it.
That's interesting.
He was one of the whiz singers. That's what he's credited as. Let's see here. Yeah, maybe she was the Witch of the South. Yeah, she was the Good Witch of the South. Okay. The Wizard of Oz refers to her as that in the book, according to what I'm looking at now. In the movie, she was the Witch of the North. She was a composite of the two good witches. So there you go. In the Wizard of Oz book, she's from the South, but in the movie, she's the composite of the Witch of the North and South. And they call her the Witch of the North. So now we solved that.
It's important that you solve the mysteries of life, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The fence that says the Wiz freaked him out as a kid. His mother took him to the theater to watch it, and they ended up leaving. Fox says he was a lion, so he was a lion named Cheetah? Yeah, why not? If Tarzan can have a chimpanzee named Cheetah. Previews for that new Gladiator looked pretty good that they were showing today during the football game.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah. It's a sequel to the Russell Crowe film from back in the late late 90s, wasn't it? When that came out.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Mr. Bob Dobalina says, another case of being lied to by the big media. About which one? So many to choose from. How long do you think it's going to take for the leftists that have deleted their X accounts to come back again?
I don't know. Pretty quick, probably.
Mm-hmm. Deleting their X accounts in protest.
Mm-hmm. Heard a bunch of them are moving to like Threads.
Blue Sky. They're moving to something called Blue
Heard of
Sky.
that one too. How nice to move to a platform that like 5 people are on. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Hell, I never even heard of Blue Sky until they started talking about that's where they were going. I'm like, okay, bye.
Yeah, really.
Apparently, its logo is a blue butterfly. I looked it up after they were saying that's where they were going. Saw the logo. I was like, yeah, okay. Fence Dad said the scene that scared him was the one in the subway wherein the garbage cans come to life and tried to eat them. He said he thinks it was 5. Yeah, that'll be about right. I was 4 or 5 when it came out too. So yeah, if it was 79, I'd have been 5. When the hell did that come out? I already closed that page. I gotta find it again. Yay. Let's see, when did it come out? Came out in 78, so I'd have been 4 when that came out. But that was back when movies would be in the theater for about a year, too. Because movies in the old days, they would stay in the theater for a long time. Didn't have cable or home video. or at least not as much as what they do now. Cable was just starting to be a major thing back in the late 70s. Apparently there was a stage play too. Yeah, considering how well the movie did in theaters, why did they bother with a stage play? Apparently it bombed in theaters. How much did it make, I wonder? Yeah, it cost them $24 million to make, and it only made $13.6 million at the box office. So they definitely lost money on that.
Yeah, I'd say so.
CBS bought the movie television broadcast rights for over $10 million and lost them $10.4 million. Jesus Christ. The film is credited for ending the all-black film project, also known as blaxploitation. It was first released on home video in 1981. It was first shown on TV on October 11th, 1980. Edited down to only 100 minutes long. It was shown a second time. The second time it was on TV was 4 years late, almost 4 years later, on May 5th, 1984, to capitalize on Jackson's popularity at that time. That would have been right after the Thriller album came out, so that makes sense. Networks such as BET, TV One, and BET Her, and Bounce TV will occasionally show it now, and they often have it on Thanksgiving because the movie starts with Dorothy's family gathered for a Thanksgiving dinner. It was released on DVD in 1999. There was a 30th anniversary edition released in 2008. Yeah. And critics did not like the movie either. So, yeah. Didn't do well in theaters, and critics hated it. And it has a 46% rating on Rotten Tomatoes with 37 reviews. Metacritic gave it a 53 out of 100. So, yeah, doesn't have very good reviews. Didn't do well in the theater. Somehow got it nominated for Academy Awards nonetheless. Was nominated for Best Art Direction, Best Cinematography, Best Costume Design, Best Best adaptation score. At the NAACP Image Awards, Michael Jackson won the Outstanding Actor in a Motion Picture Award.
Wow.
And then it was nominated for Best Saturn at the Saturn Awards for Best Fantasy Film, Best Actress, Best Supporting Actor, Best Supporting Actress, Best Costumes, Best Makeup, and Best Special Effects. You know, there were probably better movies released that year that did not get a single Oscar nomination.
Yeah, I'd guess so.
Let's see. Wonder what movies were released in 78. Let's find out. Cheech and Chong Up in Smoke. That should have got an Academy Award nomination.
I saw that now.
So have I. Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band with the Bee Gees.
Horrible movie.
Better than The Wiz. The Buddy Holly Story.
That's actually a good movie.
Foul Play.
Yeah.
Convoy. The Last Waltz. And the band. Every Which Way But Loose. Hooper. Summer School. The Boys in Company C. Force 10 from Navarone. Wild Geese. Halloween. Smokey and the Outlaw Women. Okay. Deer Hunter. The Cat from Outer Space. There you go. That should have won all the Academy Awards.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a good movie. It really is. That was back when Disney actually made good movies still. Die, Sister, Die. Oh, Midnight Express is on. Came out back then. That's a fucked up movie if you haven't seen it.
I think I have.
About a guy that gets arrested over in Turkey trying to smuggle drugs into the country. Gets caught, goes to prison over there. Now, here you go. Rescue from Gilligan's Island.
Seen that.
Yeah. One where they get rescued and Mr. Howell turns it into a resort. Corvette Summer. The Swarm. A lot of movies, most of them I never heard of. Oh, there's that. There's like a lot of B movies. Coma was pretty good. The Lord of the Rings cartoon. Good Guys Wear Black, Chuck Norris movie. Superman the movie. For some reason, I thought that was 79. Maybe not. I guess not. Maybe it got released at the end of 78. The Further Adventures of the Wilderness Family. God, my stepfather had to watch that crap. The Four Feathers. Jaws 2. The Great Train Robbery. This had to have been the height of the Chinese kung fu movies as well. There's a buttload of them on this list, including the ones that try and take advantage of Bruce Lee's name and have some guy named Bruce Lee that's Bruce, then instead of Lee, it's Li.
Wow.
Yeah, quite a lot of those Asian kung fu movies. Next one. Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
That's a horrible movie.
Uh-huh. Dawn of the Dead.
Seen that too.
Death on the Nile. I Spit on Your Grave.
Bunch of B movies.
Huh?
Bunch of B movies there.
Uh-huh. We had a bunch of Heaven Can Wait. Damien, The Omen 2.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Mm-hmm. Piranha.
Yeah, I even saw that.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty
The
horrible.
Fury. Game of Death. California Suite. I've seen that one.
Mm-hmm.
Tackle the Killer Tomatoes. That movie's so bad it's funny. Coming
Yes.
Home.
Jake Paul's all mad now because somebody pirated his broadcast. It's like,
Aw.
jeez. Somebody faked your fake broadcast? Oh no.
Yeah, no. Apparently, Inglorious Bastards was a remake, and the original came out in 1979.
Yes, that is true. That
Or
I did
78.
know.
That I did not know. Battlestar Galactica. That was a movie before it was okay. Revenge of the Pink Panther.
Seen that.
Slave of the Cannibal God.
Did not see that.
That's a B movie if there ever was one with that name.
Never even heard of that one. Wow.
Yeah. Hound of the Baskervilles. Comes a Horseman. Fist. F period I period S period T period. That wasn't that bad of a movie. Wasn't a great movie, but wasn't that bad. Return from Witch Mountain. Oh, God. The name of this movie, Rape of Love.
God. Wow.
Yeah.
That's just wrong.
Right? Nicole, nurse in Grenoble, is raped one night by 4 men. Deeply scarred, emotionally and physically, she thinks she will never recover from the trauma. Following a friend's advice, she decides to file a lawsuit. Oh boy, and the next one on that list, A Man for Sale. Only in the 70s could you get away with these names.
Yep.
A teenage girl falls in love with a man who works in live sex shows and who just happens to be having an affair with the girl's stepmother with her father's knowledge.
Okay.
Oh, dear God. Frost says Forrest Gump 2 comes out next year. Yeah. I'm not looking for that to be very good. Chris from 740's out there. Sorry, I've been
Yeah.
paying attention to the YouTube chat because I've been reading off these silly movies.
Yeah, we got company out there.
Yeah. Gray Lady down. Oh, good Lord. Natalie escaped from hell. A Russian doctor finds herself imprisoned in a lavish and elegant bordello for high-ranking Nazi officers at the mercy of a fiendish SS officer. Can she locate a missing British agent under her nose and escape from hell? A lot of these seem like they're reading their description. Sounds like a bunch of softcore pornography movies too.
Quite possibly.
Uh-huh. Carnal Campus. Yeah, that is.
Our old movie theater, back when it changed hands there for a while, would run these things late at night, like on Saturday night, like at midnight or so. They'd do a show where they said they weren't exactly what they would call adult or X-rated, but the way he described it, he said they're a hard R.
Yeah. The Carnal Campus. The framework action in this is this time the editorial meeting of a school newspaper. In 5 episodes, the film describes how school-age young women in search of physical love in precarious situations.
Okie dokie.
Yeah. A few years ago, Cinemax put on a vampire movie marathon around Halloween. And it was all 70s softcore porn type lesbian vampire movies. It was like, okay. Do we have any real vampire movies in this? You hear vampire movie marathon, you're thinking maybe movies like Fright Night, Dracula, any iteration you want to pick from. Things like that.
Right.
Lesbian vampire movie wasn't on the radar. And it wasn't like they were all late at night, which Cinemax is known for showing softcore porn back then. I think they stopped doing it now. It's how they got the nickname Skinemax,
True.
But yeah, not at noon. Women in Cell Block 9. Oh, yeah. Remember when those were a thing, the women in prison movies?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here's a winner. It's called Blue Movie. A woman escapes from being raped only to find herself trapped by a sadomasochistic photographer who, among other nasty things, gets off on consuming fresh human excrement.
Oh, God.
I know, right? Who the hell decided that would make a good movie? Oh, man. I'm going to stop reading this list at this point.
You could get in trouble just for reading that list, I think.
Right? It's like, what the hell? Oh, dear God in heaven. Yeah, there's some crazy movies out there, apparently, that weren't rated X or higher, or NC-17. Well, NC-17 didn't exist in the 70s. That came out in the 80s. Along with PG-13. I think one of the first movies to get hit with an NC-17 rating was the one Texas Chainsaw Massacre sequel. And then they toned it down and got an R rating. RoboCop almost got an X rating because of the violence when that came out.
Yeah.
I remember when that Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie first came out, the commercials, children under 17 not admitted. It didn't say not admitted without an adult. It said not admitted. They were, and he looked at the thing and said, yeah, you know, they always put the rating and they explain what the rating is at the, in that little square at the bottom or rectangle at the bottom of the previews and stuff. Yeah, it said that kids were not allowed in the theater at all.
Would that be NC-17 now, or?
Yeah.
Let's say that rating didn't used to exist.
Yeah, it came out. That rating started in the 80s. One of the most notorious movies to have that rating was Showgirls. My mother went to see that when it came out, and she wanted me and my girlfriend to go out to the movie with her. She's like, I don't want to see that.
I watched a little bit of it because somebody else I knew wanted to see it, and it's like, this is just stupid. It's not even a good movie.
Yeah, I heard, but from somebody I knew that it was complete and total garbage and not to bother going to see it. I was like, okay. He's like, the sex scenes aren't even worth watching.
G-Webs is out there.
Yeah. He says it is art. I guess he's referring to that last movie I read off.
Well, seeing anything can be considered art, I guess.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Defense Stat says, wait, what? I leave and come back to lesbian vampire movies? He says, it seems like they would only come out once a month. Touche. The old vampire teabag time period. I was told that by a lesbian. There was the bar me and my brother used to hang out with. There was this lesbian that used to go to the bar, and she was just like one of the guys, you know. And she would tell some pretty raunchy jokes. Oh, we're an hour and a half in, and most of that's probably been me reading off crazy Sony's movies. You never know what you're going to get on this show, folks.
That's true.
Mossberg has really been pushing the Shockwave on X lately. I don't know if you're subscribed to them over there or not.
I guess not, because I haven't seen.
Yeah.
I thought I was, but
been 3 or 4 posts every day from them having to do with Shockwave in some form or another.
That's just something. I mean, if it was dirt cheap, I might pick one up, but it's not anything. But I just wanted to run out and buy.
Tell you what, man, they got the 590S version of the Shockwave now. For somebody who lives in an apartment, it's made to fire the little the tinier, the small shells. You know what I'm talking about? The short ones.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be good defense gun for an apartment. You don't have to worry about over penetration or anything into the next apartment. And it's not going to recoil as much as what a full size 2 3/4 shell would.
If you hit your target, you don't have to worry about penetration. Use proper ammunition.
People have a tendency to move, though, especially if they see somebody with a shotgun. Oh shit! You know, get out. They want to try and get out of the way.
Oh, let's just say if anybody breaks down my door, they will be asked to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Not nicely either. And with any luck at all, they'll be out that door before I can do anything they'll regret. Mm-hmm. But they better be quick.
Oh, and when I called about not getting my Form 1 yet for the Shockwave, the guy I spoke to from the ATF said that yes, you can put a pistol brace on those with a pistol grip. As long as it still meets the 26-inch measurement, it's legal. So if you have a Shockwave, you can put the kit that SB Tactical sells for them. At least they used to. I don't know if they still do or not. I haven't looked. But SB Tactical used to have a kit that came with the adapter, a pistol grip, and the brace for on the Shockwaves. And they had them for the Remington TAC 14 and 13 too. So if you have any of those 3, you can. I'm going to look and see if SB Tactical still has those. Now that I'm thinking about it. and talking about it. I don't want to tell somebody to go out and get something and then they not have it. You know what I mean? So let's see. Do they still sell those? I don't think I don't see them on their site. So they must not sell those anymore. So, yeah, no, they don't have them anymore on their website anyway. They were selling them, but you can get braces you can get adapters for a 590, and that'll fit, because that's all I did. I didn't buy the actual SB Tactical kit. I just bought the adapter from I think it's ATI. I think I got their adapter and put my own pistol grip and brace on it. And that works well with the 20 gauge version. I don't know how well it worked with the 12 gauge, but I have the 20. But if you get the 590S version of the Shockwave with the little Aguila, or I think Federal makes the small ones too now, don't they?
There's a couple different companies that make them. I can't remember.
Yeah. The 12 gauge with those shells in it and a brace would work well. Remember, and you can get an adapter for the regular 590 Shockwave, but the S, you don't need the adapter. So if you want to get the one that can use the little shells, the 90S would be the one to go with.
Mm-hmm.
And it can still use 2.75 or 2 3/4 and the 3-inch shells as well.
Yeah, it looks like Aguila and Federal both. I'm looking on AmmoSeek.
Mr. Bob says, no trespassing. Violators will be mopped up when the owner is damn good and ready. We were driving by a farm on one of the back roads back here. It said no trespassing. We have hogs.
Wow.
But yeah, that's a great sign to have posted. Somebody disappears and your property might be the first place searched. I don't know what else to talk about. Give us some ideas out there, people. Smith & Wesson's been pushing revolvers on X too. Seen quite a few posts from them on X about revolvers. No muss, no fuss, no mopping required. Suing Mr. Bob is talking about the no trespassing, we have hogs sign. Says we have 3 people watching over on Rumble. So, hello to the people over there on Rumble.
know how many are watching on X right now.
16,208.
Between YouTube and Rumble right now, we got 10 people watching.
Well, that's close. So.
Well, I have no idea on X because X, the counter doesn't work. Speaking of which, where the hell is my counter and stuff on screen? I'm not seeing it. Did they take that away? Remember, they got the. Usually you have the chat and stuff. Let me see here. I just noticed it. Yeah, for some reason it's turned off.
Oh, by the way, Obi got a deer today.
Oh, cool. Bow season?
Hmm. Yeah. Well, crossbow.
Oh, yeah, same thing. Those are legal in bow season. I want one, but I got the money for one right now.
I mean, it'd be cool to try. It's just something he wanted to get into this year. I'm glad he was successful.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people have trouble. So, and he has seen quite a few. He's been saying, well, he sees a picture of them on his trail cams and stuff like that. But when he's out hunting, they're never out. Well,
Oh, that's the way it always works. You'll
he's
be at small
he's
game.
been scouting them. He finally got one today.
Yeah. I was younger, we'd go out small game hunting, and we'd see deer left, right, and center. Go to that same spot during deer season, and they were all ghost. Like, where the hell did deer go? It's like deer have calendars, and they know when hunting season is.
Yeah, he was talking. I don't want to give up. He'll probably tell more about this when I have my next show. So I don't want to give away too much of his story.
Mm-hmm.
Steal all his thunder.
Well, like he wouldn't do it if the rules were reversed.
Ozzy's out there.
Is he? He's not showing up on the Rumble window. Yep. Hey, Ozzy. Oh, now he is.
See, I'm in the future.
Yeah, got that damn delay.
I have both screens open. So.
Well, I have the YouTube chat popped out.
Maybe it takes a little longer to get to the East Coast. I don't know.
No, remember Rumble has that nasty delay between YouTube and Rumble. The Rumble stuff shows up right away, but if somebody says something on YouTube, it takes like 20 seconds to show up in the Rumble studio. Remember we tested all that?
Mm-hmm. I'm thinking about doing my show on Thursday this week.
Why?
Just because of all the people that have high school stuff going on Friday.
You mean Snob?
Well, that's one of them. I'm sure he's not the only one.
No, I'm joking. Snob needs to go back to high school and get his diploma.
Plus, then, I have to get up early on Saturday morning and go see my daughter. That maybe give me an opportunity to go to bed at a decent hour on Fridays. So.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody else doing anything on Thursday.
No. At least it's something I could try doing, till the end of the school year at least, or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's not cast in stone. If people hate it, it can always be moved back. It's not like it's the end of the world one way or the other. It was just suggested that maybe we try another day.
Yeah.
And
Chris was doing his show on Thursdays for a while, and he stopped doing them.
He does still do the occasional show.
Yeah, but nothing regular is my point.
Yeah. I know at one time Guns and Barbecue toyed with the idea of coming back on Thursday. But that means I'm going to have 2 streams back to back because I got my member stream on Wednesday, and unless I move the member stream.
Move it to Tuesday.
Well, Tuesday, Foss says I hear Sunday mornings are open. Tuesday, you're competing with a lot of people. Tuesdays, well, Hillbilly does his VIP.
Yeah, that's right. Tuesday. He does his members chat.
Plus Ghost.
Yeah.
You know, there's an awful lot going on Tuesdays. Not that there wouldn't be on a lot of nights. I thought about Mondays also, but
yeah, that would be after. You could do it after Ghost, but yeah, you're right about Hillbilly. Forgot about that.
I'm not going to go up against Hillbilly and do, dueling VIP chats. So
do your VIP chat after Ron does his.
Ron's on Monday night.
Yeah, I know.
I could, but Monday Night Football. Yeah.
Or do the members chat on Friday, but then you'd have the same issue about being back to back.
Well, except most of the people who would care don't ever go to my members chat anyway. So let's be real. There's about 12 people that go to those, I think, every week.
Mm-hmm.
And I give away knives.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're not a member on Gizzard's channel, why not? He gives away knives every Wednesday for the rest of the year.
Nice knives.
Uh-huh.
If I could have my way, I'd have a different channel member win every week.
Yeah.
Everybody would get a knife.
Looking at who's out there, I think everybody out there right now on the YouTube side at least is a channel member of yours.
Mr. Bob's not.
No, Mr. Bob's not? Okay.
No.
So he would be the one exception.
Oh, and I don't want to turn this into a beg for channel members either. So
no,
I don't do that. I appreciate everybody who supports me, but
I'm trying to fill the time, man.
I just got to the point, to be quite honest with you. It's like everywhere you look around here's boxes and boxes of knives. It's like you ain't got any place to store all these things. And although I like collecting them, and I have some really nice ones that I'd never get rid of and stuff like that, that still leaves plenty of perfectly good knives that somebody could really enjoy.
Right. Well, Defense Dad said he'll take one.
I'm sure he will.
And Ozzy wants to know, how does Mr. Knives feel about that?
I don't know how Knives feels about that. I mean, I may, when it gets closer to Christmas, actually give one away on the regular live stream too. But it's just the kind of thing, I have all these knives here, and people would really get some enjoyment out of them. Stuff that I would probably, if you have 100 knives, you can't possibly use them all. To be honest, the ones that I carry, there's probably less than half a dozen or so that I rotate around that I really carry a lot. The rest of them just get stored. And usually the knife companies, once you've completed your review, now they don't want you just getting rid of them right away or anything like that. But once you've had them for a while, most of them are like, yeah, they're yours to do with whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I would never sell anything like that. There's people who would, but I wouldn't personally.
Yeah. Where is it? Trying to find.
And no, the ones that I actually go and buy for myself, you ain't getting those. Don't get ideas.
Oh, darn.
Yes, I review knives and I get knives given to me, but believe it or not, there's stuff out there that is at stores that I still like to buy knives too. So
Mm-hmm.
believe it or not, there's knives out there that companies won't send me. And of course, those are the ones I want.
Okay. Now let me switch this over to my actual
For
camera.
some reason, I've never been able to talk Benchmade into sending me knives for review.
These are the 4 knives I generally carry. Got my Benchmade, my Sencut Jubal, my little Auto from Hogue, and then the Ravencrest Tactical out the front. Those are the ones I usually carry.
And I'll tell you what, that Civivi Elementum utility knife,
Mm-hmm.
that thing, I got a couple of those now, but that thing gets used more because that's become my go-to for opening up packages because that razor blade in there is just perfect for slices right through, and you're not going to wear out your knife because if you do, just put a new blade in there and you're good to go. So you're not wearing down your good knives by cutting cardboard with them.
Right.
Where is it? Here it is. Now I gotta wait for that to open. Again, this is what I use for opening boxes. But similar to your Elementum, it's just not a Civivi, it's a snap-on. We'll see if I can get it to focus.
Well, if it's a snap-on, it probably costs as much.
I think it was $30 for 3 of them. This one and then 2 with a plastic grip.
Now the Elementum's going to be a little bit more than that, but you're paying for a designer knife too. So
this one works fairly decently.
I had the blue one that G-Webs gave me, and then Civivi sent me. Well, it's actually what I'm going to review this month, but it's in red. It's really pretty.
Yeah, the one that I just showed with the aluminum scales on it, it's red, but the plastic one, the plastic grip ones, or I think they're glass filled nylon actually, but just another type of plastic. They're black.
See, I never got one originally to review, but the Gun Snob did. And, he gets, he works construction. He's obviously got all kinds of, tools and stuff like that. And I kind of figured that he would think it's a toy. He said, no, actually, he said, it's one of the handier things you'd ever carry. Ozzy says he uses a skinny black knife to open boxes, which also works very well. And I have also used that quite a bit. That is my envelope opener.
Yeah.
Ozzy, because it's got that nice skinny blade to it. And boy, that thing gets right under the edge of an envelope and you could just slice it open. Those things are great for that. It's the world's coolest letter opener. The blue ones will work for envelopes too, by the way. I don't have a multicolored one yet.
Well, that Sen cut I just showed, it works really good for the same reason. It's got that thin Warncliffe blade on there, and it just gets right in there.
The knife I reviewed from Civivi, what was that thing called? Oh, I just had it in my mind. Let me look real quick. Look here. It's called the Quake. And that thing, yeah, but it's got a little bit of a curve to the blade because it's kind of a takeoff on a Quaken.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a skinny, thin knife blade. It actually would also work as a gentleman's knife because it's about that size.
Yeah. Well, this Sen cut, the jewel would work fairly well as a gentleman's blade too. It's got that size and skinniness to it.
Now I've got the CRKT CEO, which is for the longest time was considered the ultimate gentleman's knife, but so many other companies are making takeoffs of that now.
Mm-hmm.
But that's got a super thin blade on it. See, Defense Dad says I came across a knife I really like, but it's almost 200. That's the CRKT Q Compact. Q Compact. I'm gonna take a look at it. Okay. Yeah, 195. That has a little bit of a curve to it too. Okay. Wonder, can I share my screen on here? I think I can, can't I?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
But real quick, here's how thin the blade is on the Jubal.
Okay.
So it's fairly thin. Okay, are you trying to share your screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me do that. There you go.
Okay, so there's a Q Compact. That's a Richard Rogers design there. Okay. Smaller. What are the specs on that? Okay. Closed length 4 inches. Blade length, it's about a 3-inch blade.
Yeah.
013 blade thickness. Okay. It's 35 VN. Oh, you gotta treat yourself. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
I don't sell them, so. But you could go to Blade HQ. Or you could go to Smoky Mountain Knife Works.
Knife Works, yeah. You can
and use code Gizzard Gary. I don't know.
You know, go over to my affiliates page and get a direct link to Smoky Mountain Knife Works.
I guess it is your show. We'll use your codes. Okay, fine.
I don't think I don't have a code. I just have the affiliate link. So
Yeah,
use your code at my affiliate link.
That's all I have to. I don't have a code.
Now, Ravencrest Tactical, I have a code. So you can go over there, get 15% off at Ravencrest Tactical, code and link on the affiliates page, which is running across the top of the screen right now. That's for Ravencrest Tactical's out the front knives, anyway. Which they have at just a knife to fit just about any budget over there. Start. Thank you. This one is just one of their higher end knives,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not wanting to focus properly. But you
Yeah,
can see there is stippling.
it's
in
focusing on your shirt for some reason.
Yeah, I was focusing on Scooby Doo.
That's a little better.
Yeah.
It's focusing on the outside, like your cup over to the far side of your screen.
I only got 2 arms to Brian block things.
Well, I know. I'm just saying your camera's focusing on everything other than what you want it to focus on.
It's a little better. It's got almost like a tire tread.
Yeah, I
pattern.
can see it now.
Yeah. And the pocket clip with their logo and name on it. Multiple different blades. It's just one of the blades that's available on this one. This is, like I said, one of their higher end. It's the Zenshi Warrior. They also have the Mini Warrior, which is a little bit bigger than this one. Then they have ones that are like this, but better made, obviously. This is a cheap $35 one that you find at like a gas station.
Yeah.
This one MSRP about $170. And they have different colors that you can get the grip into. And then they have custom ones where you can get like battle worn.
You got a warranty?
They're close. Yeah, lifetime warranty. It's D2 tool steel blade. It's razor sharp. It's like 9.5 inches overall length.
It's legal in some states.
Yes, it's legal in some states. It's not legal to the state immediately to the north of me.
It's not legal in California either.
No.
Or New York.
But if you want something that's legal in California, where did I put the damn thing? I just had it. Here it is.
Oh, I have an auto knife. It's California legal, but it's got like 1 7/8 blade on it.
Yeah. This one's 1.9 inches. And it's legal.
Yeah, it's very similar to that.
Yeah, the little Hogue. These are about $125 on Smoky Mountain Knife Works. Again, you can use my link at the affiliates page to get the Smoky Mountain Knife Works and pick yourself up one of these little boys. I find this knife very handy. Honestly, it's got that little blade, but it's so useful. And yes, I have used the bottle opener on it too.
If you're not familiar with Smoky Mountain Knife Works, they carry just about all brands of knives there. So it's not just the stuff you see on the screen. If you go there, they'll have all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. This I actually got fixed through Smoky Mountain Knife Works, finally. So.
And if you ever get anywhere near Sevierville, Tennessee, go to the store.
Yes, that if you're a knife lover, Smoky Mountain Knife Works is the mecca that you have to go to.
Yep. I finally got a chance to see it this year.
Yep, so did I.
It's worth the trip.
Yeah, it's a beautiful store. And they don't just sell knives. You go downstairs, they have kitchenwares and a bunch of other stuff too.
I'm planning on being there a while because...
Yes, it's big. When they say they are the world's largest knife store, they're not lying.
If you're looking for a particular brand of knife, you have to find their booth. And trust me, they're the size of like booths at a trade show.
Yeah, the store is huge. Absolutely huge.
And I think they purposefully have everything spaced out so you have to walk through the entire store to get there.
And downstairs, which Gary didn't see it, they have an
automated. Oh, yes, I did.
You saw the automated animals?
I had to go all the way down to the basement because that's where the restrooms are.
It's right at the foot of the steps. They had the
I was there.
Animatronic Singing animals reminded me of what, like, going to Chuck E. Cheese when I was a kid.
I was following the signs to the restrooms, and it's like it takes you basically all the way around the store, and then you circle back around. You go down these steps. It's like, boy, I'm glad I didn't have to go right away because I'd never made it.
Right?
But now I've heard, because Weston was out around where Blade HQ is, which I believe is in Utah.
I don't know.
And they now have a storefront.
Oh, cool.
So that would be cool to see, because I've been fans of both those channels for a long time now, and even Knife Center.
The first time I heard and saw Smoky Mountain Knife Works was actually on TV. I was watching a Western on one of those religious channels. And when the Western went off, they had an infomercial basically pop up where they were selling knives on TV.
See, I heard about them from Sarge. Of course, Sarge lives practically right there. He talked about going in there a few times. He said they got a website, so it's like, oh, okay. So I checked out their YouTube channel and stuff. It's like they do some interesting videos too, if you like knife videos and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
Now they do them a little differently than Blade HQ does and stuff like that, but they're maybe perhaps a little bit more on the entertaining side on Smoky Mountains, because, well, of course, they do it with a little bit of a mountain twist and stuff like that. Plus, they actually have their own in-store line of products that they offer there too. So,
G-Web says he's taking off. He's starting to fall asleep.
all right, we're outlasting them.
Uh-huh.
But I actually got to meet TC. He's a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, I met a couple of their guys at a Great American Outdoor Show.
See, I met him at SHOT Show because, and it's quite by accident, but a few years ago, it's kind of a long story, but Sarge was at Smoky Mountain Knife Works and bought us all matching shirts from Smoky Mountain Knife Works. They say knives are great American tradition on the front of them. Then on the back, they have the Smoky Mountain Knife Works logo on them. I just happened to be wearing that shirt on the SHOT Show floor one day. First day of SHOT Show a couple of years ago. And I hear somebody say, "Hey, nice shirt." And I look, and it's a couple of guys from Smoky Mountain Knife Works just happened to be walking by me. So we stopped and had a conversation for about 5 minutes.
Cool.
You never know. You wear a company shirt, they might see you.
Yep.
And of course, I got to have quite a few conversations with them at Goals this year.
Yeah, I wanted to go over to their booth at Goals, but I kept forgetting. Kept getting sidetracked.
I mean, they were mostly concerned with making sales on the floor, like as a lot of people were. But
yeah, well, I had a few lengthy discussions with them at a GOA, not GOA, at a Great American Outdoor Show.
Well, now that I have an affiliate relationship with them, I'm going to seek them out at all the shows I go to, as I do most of the companies.
And speaking of Smoky Mountain Knife Works,
are they in here? That'd be cool.
Whoops, where are we at? There we are. This is something that you can't buy. But if we get the 500 subscribers, you may just have a chance to win it. I'm trying to get it to focus on it because it's got their Smoky Mountain Army logo on there, but it won't want to focus. I'm starting to get to see it a little bit. You can see where Army is.
By the way, if you do decide to drive out to Smoky Mountain Knife Works, bring your appetite with you because there's tons of restaurants all the way.
Oh, yeah. Buc-ee's. There's a Buc-ee's right by there, too.
Yes, there is. We stopped there, too.
Yes, so did we. Buc-ee's is a must.
Oh, yeah. Anytime. Even when I'm driving by myself, I will usually always, if I'm anywhere near out of gas, it's like, may as well buy it at Buc-ee's as anywhere else. So.
Yeah.
Usually eat there, too.
But this is a nice little folder that has their logo on it from when they did a show a few years ago. They had some left over, and they sent me a few of them, or 2 of them anyway, to give away as part of the 500 sub giveaway if we ever get to that point. I may just end up giving that one away, maybe around Christmas. We'll have to wait and see. Not this one. This one's mine. You can't have it. But I have another one that's in a box.
Are you, by chance, just asking here, are you a VIP on Hillbilly Up's channel?
Yeah.
Were you in watching his last live stream?
No.
You might check it out. Do you know Moondog?
Yeah.
Well, Moondog is doing a sweepstakes here pretty soon, and he said part of that sweepstakes is going to get people to subscribe to various YouTube channels. So he said if you wanted to be, and he's talking to the people that were on a panel at the time, but I presume he'd be, conducive to maybe, including somebody else. So you might reach out to him and see if you could get included.
Okay.
Because that's when we had our hens. You remember way back when we did our hen subscriber giveaway?
Oh, yeah.
I got a ton of subs off that because that's the way we did that. You got extra entries if you sub to this channel, that channel, that channel. I probably got 500 or 600 subs that way. So I would definitely check out and see if he could include you. I wish I had his email handy, but I don't think I do.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that. Thanks for the info.
Yeah, check out. Worst comes to worst, just watch his last live stream. I don't think I've ever sent or received an email from Moondog. Let's see. No. Don't think so. Nope. But if you reached out to Hillbilly, I'll bet you Hillbilly could help you.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen Hillbilly today. He may be in mourning because Chiefs lost. He's a big Chiefs fan too. So is Ozzy. I took it pretty well. It's like, I'm not surprised. I knew this was going to be probably one of the tougher games we play all year. So.
Mm-hmm.
And the series between us and Buffalo, I looked at the history of it since 2020, and it's been pretty even other than playoffs. So, and playing in Buffalo and everything else. And let's be real, the Chiefs haven't exactly played stellar football this year. I know, yeah, they were undefeated. Anybody who's followed them and watched all their games, they haven't been blowing people out, not even close.
No.
There's some fine-tuning on that offense that definitely needs to take place. And they've had a lot of injuries. That's an awful lot of it, too.
Yeah, well, it's like the one show I called them the Cardiac Chiefs. I mean, there's a reason for that.
But I don't think, it's kind of like I told Moo earlier. I said, I don't think losing at this point of the season is a bad thing.
Mm-mm.
You have a 3-game division lead, or at least you did going into this week. So you've got a game to lose. You can learn just as much about your team, if not a little more, from losing a game as you can winning a game.
Mm-hmm. and they're still a game ahead of Pittsburgh, and I don't think anybody else has that record. And the Buffalo, I should say. So, as far as getting the number 1 seed in the conference, because y'all are at what, 8-1, 9-1 now.
The Chiefs are at 9-1 right now. They are the only team in the AFC with only 1 loss. So
yeah, Steelers are 8-2, I think.
Bills are 9-2.
Yeah.
Steelers are 8-2.
Yeah. So yeah, you got a game on each of them as far as the number 1 seed in the conference.
You don't want to stumble too much, or you're going to end up going back to Buffalo at playoff time. That ain't going to be fun.
Buffalo or Pittsburgh.
So we'll see. We'll see how that is. How about in the NFC? Let's see. The Eagles are 8-2. Yeah. The Lions are 9-1. So same record as Chiefs. And that's about it. After that, you're going to 4 losses.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Vikings are 8-2. Okay.
That's why I said the NFC North could be interesting. You could end up with all 4 of them teams in the playoffs. How bad some of the other NFC divisions are.
Ideally, you want to play for home field advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I about panicked when I was watching that fight the other night, and all the buffering and everything's like, oh, great. This is what I have to watch a football game on Christmas Day on this network.
Right. Hopefully they get that squared away by then. That's probably going to be the most interesting game on the NFL schedule the rest of the season.
Let's see. Our next game is with the Panthers. And then we have the Raiders at home, the Chargers at home. Then we go to Cleveland. Then we have the Texans at home, and then we go to Pittsburgh. So that's how we have to finish out the season.
I think you're the only non-division opponent the rest of the season for the Steelers. Oh, no, they got the Eagles. They got the Browns next week, and then the Eagles. No, they got the Browns next week, then the Bengals, then the Browns again, then the Eagles, then the Ravens, then the Chiefs.
The only thing that's up in the air is where am I going to be on Christmas Day, and that's still.
They finish out the season against the Bengals at home.
The daughter was thinking about hosting Christmas, but she's going to have a new baby, and she's not sure at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Sad part about it is she's the one that has a Netflix subscription. I may have borrowed her Netflix subscription the other night.
Yeah, we kind of do that too with our youngest daughter.
With permission, I asked.
Mm-hmm. Well, she borrows ours.
I mean, to be fair, nobody else in the household was using Netflix that night because I checked, and she said, nope, we'll stay off of it. You go ahead.
Make your own sub account on there. Your own login. Then you can both use it at the same time.
Well, strictly speaking, it's my login now. It's just that the IP address is registered to her home. So.
Yeah, but you're using it on a mobile.
Right.
So, have her create her own login account, and then you can both use it at the same time. Just make a little sub thing. Is at the beginning, when you log in, you have who's using it. You can create multiple people.
Well, I let her have it because at the time I figured I had no use for Netflix. And then, of course, now what does the NFL decide to do?
Mm-hmm.
Have a game on Netflix this year.
Yeah, they're going to have more.
I am sick of what the NFL's doing. They're spreading their damn schedule over so many cable networks. Well, what they're wanting you to do is buy the NFL package. It's like, I'm not spending that kind of money to watch NFL football.
No.
I already
That's on
spend
YouTube
enough.
anyway. And the YouTube got the NFL Game Day package now.
Mm-hmm. I'm already paying for a couple of months worth of YouTube TV just so I can watch what I want to watch. But once football season's over, that subscription's getting canceled.
We tried out the YouTube TV thing. They didn't carry our local CBS channel. So it's like, why am I paying for this? I don't get the channel I wanted anyway.
Paramount does, but the thing is, it was going off where it thought you were, which was inaccurate. For me, it was picking up Wichita as a local station. I'm a lot closer to Topeka than I am Wichita.
Yeah. Well, with YouTube TV, they said they didn't have a contract with the CBS station in Pittsburgh.
It's all convoluted mess.
Oh, Comcast was really special. I put CBS on the television. When we had cable TV, it was the Pittsburgh station. If I put CBS on their app on my computer, it was the DC station. Figure that one out.
If the NFL would just charge a reasonable price for their streaming service, I don't think they'd have any trouble getting people. If it was, say, $20 a month during football season, or let's just say flat fee of $100, you can watch any NFL game you want to all year. I think most people would probably do that. But it's nowhere near that cheap.
No, it's what, $300-$400? Get out of your damn mind. It's been that since they were on DirecTV. It's like, yeah.
It's like for that kind of money, you could almost go to the game.
Uh-huh. Well, hell, if I'd have won the ticket lottery on the VetTix thing, I would have went to the Steeler game for less than that.
Well, if it gets much more expensive, the way to go, and I almost did it this year, is just to go find a sports bar you could hang out at and watch a game there. Just, go eat some wings or something like that. You don't even have to drink beer. They'll sell you pop. They don't care.
Well,
just go sit and enjoy it there on their big screen.
Yeah, the sports bar we had around here just closed.
We have one around here, but I don't think they're open on Sundays. So, yeah, you could do that for college games.
Well, they were open on Sundays because they advertised having the Steeler games.
But I wouldn't be against driving a few miles. Especially if I had some friends to go with, Yeah.
It was a combination sports bar and Irish pub.
Go get a big table full of friends and stuff like that. Get you a mess of wings and stuff. The people who want to have a beer, let them have one. Keep a couple people who aren't drinking so everybody can safely get home. I'm a big fan of that. By all means, don't go out drinking a bunch of stuff trying to drive home.
Yeah. Before anybody asks, it wasn't one of those I'm going to open a bar and call it an Irish pub. No, this was owned by an Irish immigrant who opened it up like that and ran it like they would be over in Ireland.
Irish pubs are some of the most fun places to go to. That or English pubs too. Or
Yeah, there's one of those down in Winchester, Virginia. English immigrant opened up an English pub on
used
their
to be one
walkthrough
in
mall.
Kansas City. It was really nice. It was fun. And I've actually been to a real English pub in England. So you want to have fun now. That's fun.
Yeah. And if you want to try what actual English cuisine is without, it's not just stereotype that it doesn't have any flavor, that's where you want to go. If you have one in your areas in a legitimate English pub owned by immigrants from over there who make the food the way it's supposed to be. Because English have some really good food if it's made properly. But the way they do their roast beef and potatoes is different than a Yankee pot roast, which is the way you'd get it over here. They don't actually cook the potatoes and beef together. And it's really good with you have a Yorkshire pudding with it. It's really good. They actually roast the potatoes until they're golden brown in a pan separate from the beef.
But this little pub I went to, you could go there like in the mornings, or you could go for lunch, before it actually became a pub, and it was pretty much just a place to eat. They had tables and everything. You could sit and order food.
Yep.
The owners would actually come out and talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
They were quite tickled that they had Americans in there. Had a lot of questions and stuff. But they were quite proud to be British too, they're very pleasant people to get along with.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, this was years ago. This is in the 90s.
Yeah, England has changed, particularly London. London is turning into Middle Eastern location now.
Well, I guess you would call this, of course, London proper. If you actually know your geography over there, London proper is just a pretty small area. It's about a mile square. Then it's surrounded by suburbia, all the way around. So.
Yeah, but that place has gotten so many Muslim immigrants, it's ridiculous.
This pub would have actually been in Herefordshire, which is way north of London proper.
Yeah. Oh, hell, England in and of itself isn't very big.
I'm just saying most people see this map in this huge city and think London's huge. Well, what's actually London is downtown, basically.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's like Pittsburgh. People look at Pittsburgh and think that it takes up all of Allegheny County in Pennsylvania. It doesn't. The city of Pittsburgh itself is actually relatively small.
Well, most people here, if you're telling them you're going to Kansas City, you're usually not going into Kansas City proper.
Mm-hmm.
Very few people actually do.
Yeah, but Pittsburgh ain't like Philadelphia or New York where it takes up multiple other little boroughs, or in the case of New York City, an entire county.
Well, the unique thing about Kansas City is it kind of sprawls across, 2 state borders.
Mm-hmm. But if you remember, New York and New York City, Manhattan isn't just a borough; it's also the county of New York, just the Manhattan Island. Which is what we typically think of as Manhattan, and then Harlem. I think there's one other neighborhood. on the island.
I'm not a New Yorker, so.
Yeah. I'm not either, but that's how big New York City is, though.
I do know that Queens and Harlem are basically just across the river from each other.
Right, they are. Yeah, 'cause Manhattan Island is like in the middle of the.
Because back in the old days, Yankee Stadium was on one end over on the Queens side, and then if you cross the bridge and went over into Harlem, that's where the Polo Grounds was.
Well,
and you could see one from the other if you were high
Yankee
enough.
Stadium's in the Bronx, not Queens. Shea Stadium's was in Queens.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Well, Flushing, technically.
Yeah. Well,
which
Flushing's
was a
neighborhood
dump
in
at one time.
Yeah.
That was the site of the World's Fair, actually. Well, 2 times. And then, yeah, it was pretty much used for a dump.
Mm-hmm.
And they did the last World's Fair, and then after that, they decided, well, we've got all this shit paved. It's probably a good place to put a stadium. So.
Yeah. And the Bronx is called the Bronx because it was actually named for the Bronx farm, and they just dropped the farm part off the name at some point. There used to be a massive farm in that area. Before they started turning it into houses.
And Brooklyn was a city unto itself.
Mm-hmm.
Originally not part of New York at all.
Technically, it still is. They have their own mayor. They're just under a contract with all the 5 boroughs are under a contract where they all have the same police and fire department. But the mayor of Manhattan, which is what we think of New York City, is always Manhattan, right? And then you got the others on the outline. But the mayor of what's Manhattan, or what they call the mayor of New York, isn't the mayor of Brooklyn or Queens or the Bronx. They all have their own head of person that they elect separate. But they all basically Congress together about different things too. And then, like I said, the police and fire department is a joint department among all 5 boroughs.
And I have been there, but I was like 8 years old. I don't remember too much of it.
I've been around, but never actually in the city.
I can remember actually being in a car as we went down Broadway. Because I did see the Ed Sullivan Theater. We went to the Empire State Building. Actually went in the Empire State Building. And we got on the ferry that went out to the Statue of Liberty. We didn't actually get off at the statue, but we got real close to it. For years and years, I used to have a little souvenir that was on that ferry boat, just a little miniature Statue of Liberty. I don't know whatever happened to that thing.
Yeah, same way with some of the souvenirs I got when we went to Disney World. I have no idea whatever happened to them.
It's somewhere. If I dug, I've got an old album with pictures to prove I was there. So.
I don't even have that.
That's a great thing about having sisters that used to live out on the East Coast. I got to go there. Let's see, got to drive around the Pentagon and the Capitol. We ended up actually going up to upstate New York to Mount Vernon. which is a pretty cool place to tour, by the way, if you're into
Yeah.
history.
Yeah, I've been to the Pentagon before.
Well, my sisters worked at the Pentagon, so they were CIA. They were clerical staff working for the CIA. To be clear, they were not intelligence agents. They were basically transcribers.
Yeah. Yep.
Back then, they hired a shitload of people. If they could type really fast, the government would hire them as transcribers over in the CIA. So both my sisters did that.
Ron 2A Matters is heading out, so evening to you, sir.
Night, Ron. Other Ron, whatever.
Yeah.
There's lots of Rons out there.
Well, 2. I don't know if the other one's still out there. I don't know if the other one's still out
Ron
there.
Wayne probably being out on the East, being out in Kentucky, Eastern time zone. I'm sure he's in bed by now.
Yeah, that'd be Mid-Atlantic. Technically, we're Mid-Atlantic, too.
I'm Great Plains.
Pennsylvania's Mid-Atlantic, bordering Northeast.
A lot of people like to call us Midwest. No, we're not Midwest. We're Plains.
Yeah, Pennsylvania, it depends on what part of the state you're in, if you're in Mid-Atlantic or Northeast.
Or as I like to call it, the nation's heartland.
The world's breadbasket.
You could call it that. Flyover country. A lot of people call it that. Used to be jokes about planes that would fly over Kansas because we had some really strange liquor laws at one time. There was a while where if planes flew over Kansas airspace, it could not serve alcohol. And so, yeah, the pilots would make fairly disparaging remarks when flying over Kansas. But,
how are they going to enforce that?
I'm not sure how they did that.
You'd think it would be pretty hard to enforce.
It's not true anymore, but...
What are they going to do? Pull a plane over?
No, when I was a kid, they had some pretty strict liquor laws around here. It's not that way anymore. But, yeah, it's still flyover country. I understand that. It's not exactly everybody's vacation destination. Ooh, let's go to Kansas on vacation. Nobody says that. Unless you happen to have relatives that live there or something, you might, but that'd be about it.
Yeah.
And it's too bad, but, we don't have that many people here and stuff like that. And people will say, well, why don't you build more stuff and have more people come? Well, then it wouldn't be what it is, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas wouldn't be Kansas if it had 16 million people in it. So. And we aren't that much different from Nebraska or Oklahoma. So.
There ain't a whole lot to see in either of those states either.
You got to know what you're looking for. It's kind of like Kansas and what you're expecting on a vacation. If you're expecting, really, tourist spots where there's going to be tens of thousands of people, we don't have those. But there are interesting things to see.
Oh, I'm sure. Every state has something to go
Well, I found out when I was going back and forth to Wanamaker and then hanging around with the gun snob and stuff like that, and he showed us some cool stuff. It's like, I never knew this was in Oklahoma. There's really cool stuff down here. So I think every state's got some gems, kind of what they call hidden gems.
That's what I was saying. I mean, here we got Harper's Ferry, stuff like that. So. Civil War sites that people don't even realize exist.
If you want to see the world's largest ball of twine, you're going to have to come to Kansas, folks. I'm sorry.
My wife's hometown was a camp for Union soldiers at one point. You can you walk my mother-in-law's property with a metal detector, and you'll find like old musket balls and stuff, mini ball.
Well, in this county, not in this city, but in this county, so not far from me, was a camp where they housed a bunch of the Indians that eventually ended up going to Oklahoma on a Trail of Tears and stuff like that. So,
yeah,
Apote, Lahota.
And her hometown at one point had a camp that was Union forces that were chasing Lee's army back down south after the Battle of Gettysburg.
The Santa Fe Trail runs not too far from here. I'm sure if you've watched old Western movies, you've saw the Santa Fe Trail. There's actually wagon ruts and stuff like that you can see if you look in the right places around here.
Chisholm Trail wouldn't be all that far from me.
It's not that far either, no. And the stockyards in Kansas City are still there. That's where most of those cattle were being moved to. That's where those trails pretty much end.
Yeah.
Because Kansas City was pretty much, for the longest time, the end of civilization going west. That was pretty much a stop. Once you went from there, you were on wagon trains. So the settlers would stop in Kansas City and get their provisions and everything because it was pretty bleak once you left there.
Yeah, same with Chicago. Chicago used to be a huge place for that wagon trains would start off from.
Until the 1850s when they finally started building railroads out this way. But Kansas, Oklahoma was all pretty much unsettled territory. So there were still small bands of Indians around here. When the early settlers came to this town or this area around 1850, 55, they were fairly friendly Indians, but there were still, patches of them around here. You'd build a town on the other side of the river. There'd be maybe a couple dozen Indians living up there. They'd come in town trade and stuff like that. Not quite like F Troop or anything like that, but
no.
But it wasn't uncommon. I've seen old pictures of like the first few county fairs, and there'd be Indians there and stuff like that.
Yeah. Not far from here, you got Fort Necessity up in southern Pennsylvania, which was Washington, where he was stationed mostly during the French Indian War, and lost the fort to the French when he was in the British Army. General Braddock's grave site is right up near there. And you got Gettysburg isn't that far from here. That's within a couple hours drive. Then you got Antietam National Battlefield isn't that far from here. Manassas, where you had Bull Run, that's not that far from here. That's just outside of DC, but that's only a couple hours from here. Colonial Williamsburg, that's only a couple hours from here down in Virginia. That's near where Busch Gardens is at. There's a lot of places that are within a couple hours drive of where we're at that's got historic significance to it.
Now, most places over here, the early settlers of Kansas were by and large free staters. So, we maintained our neutrality pretty much during the Civil War, but right across the state border, we had Missouri, which was leaned Confederate.
Yeah.
And we had a series of border wars back and forth.
Uh-huh.
In fact, they burned down the city of Lawrence.
Yeah.
Our good friend, Mr. Quantrill, and his raiders.
Yeah. And there was a guy who died in West Virginia that fought in those border wars too, in the lead up to the Civil War.
Which is why for years and years, the University of Kansas and the University of Missouri would have, they'd play each other in football every year, and they'd call it the border war.
Mm-hmm. Well, they called when Pitt and West Virginia were in the same conference. They did the same thing. They called it the border war because Morgantown is right on the border, basically, of Pennsylvania and West Virginia.
Yeah, the Missouri people would come over here and do unspeakable things, and well, to be fair, the Kansas people would probably get their retribution too. So we'd get bands together and go over and even the score.
Yeah, but old John Brown met his end in West Virginia at Harper's Ferry.
Yeah,
he was heavily involved in the border wars out that way.
Yes, he was. In fact, there's a huge mural of John Brown in the Kansas State Capitol.
The Civil War Museum, the National Civil War Museum in Harrisburg, PA, has one of John Brown's rifles on display. There's a reason why the National Civil War Museum's in Harrisburg. That's where Congress was at during the Civil War. That was ultimately what the immediate next target of Lee would have been if they'd have been successful at Gettysburg. They were going after the U.S. Congress. And then from there, they were going after Pittsburgh.
Here, that picture right there is on the north wall of the Kansas State Capitol as you go in.
Yeah. A famous painting of John Brown.
John Stuart Curry. Yeah. Took him quite a while to finish that. And it was a little bit controversial. but it's still there to this day.
To be honest, John Brown was a little bit controversial himself. So. Today, if it wasn't for the fact that he was fighting against slavery, he'd probably be called a terrorist.
So if somebody tells you nothing ever happened in Kansas, that's not quite the entire story.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a whole lot happening here now.
Yep. If Lee would have won Gettysburg, this country would be a whole lot different.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, they were going after Harrisburg next, which was garrisoned because that's where Congress was at during the war, because D.C. was right across the river from Virginia. And then you had Pittsburgh being the next target, which was a major shipping center for Union supplies down the Mississippi into Tennessee, Mississippi, Louisiana, on that leg of the war, which the South was getting their butts kicked there.
Well, I was reading some interesting facts about Abraham Lincoln the other day. Everybody talks about his assassination and stuff like that. And it's like, well, he didn't exactly go to an awful lot of trouble to protect himself when he was out in public. And there was many times that he come pretty damn close to getting assassinated before that ever happened.
Yeah. At the time, the assassination of Lincoln's what led to them starting to crack down on the president doing that kind of stuff. And even then, you look at Kennedy's assassination, he was riding in a convertible.
Which that car was equipped with a bubble top, but he asked for it to be removed.
Mm-hmm. the Pope would ride in an open car until they tried to assassinate John Paul II. And then they came out with the Pope Mobile with the protected box that he sits in. The Pope
But
sits
Lincoln would go out on his horse and just go
Mhm.
out and inspect things and stuff.
Yeah.
There's one time, I believe, one story where he actually ended up with a hole in his hat. Somebody took a shot at him, and
in. Yeah. But how much? Look at Andrew Jackson. Somebody just walked up to him on the steps of the Capitol Hill and shot him. He survived. I mean, he beat the guy with his cane. Yeah, presidents back then, they just walked around like anybody else. They didn't have all this protection with them.
well, senators too. I forget what senator it was. Somebody come in and literally beat the shit out of him on the Senate floor.
Well, don't forget, we had a vice president die in a duel.
Yeah.
Or shot somebody in a duel, excuse me, the other way around. Alexander Hamilton was killed by Aaron Burr in a duel. Things were different back then.
Mm-hmm.
A lot different. Best part is duels weren't even legal. The vice president still killed somebody in a duel and got away with it. And wasn't just anybody. He was one of the founders of the country. First Secretary of the Treasury, if I remember correctly. Oh, it got quiet.
I'm looking at Wikipedia.
About what?
Duels.
There have been a few of them over the years.
Been a couple.
That was a fad for a time.
Yeah, I'm glad I never had to deal with that.
Uh-huh. Well, we still used to get the meet me in the schoolyard.
Yeah, a little different, but
Yeah, it's a form of a duel.
I suppose fisticuffs. But
Yeah. You picked your hands as the weapons.
yeah, but nobody was supposed to die.
Well, a duel could be won without killing the person. There were examples of that happening. Off the top of my head, I can't think of one, but there were ones where that happened. Where the one guy would miss and the other guy would shoot the other guy in the arm. That kind of thing.
Is anybody actually watching this still?
Yeah, we have 4 people, 1 on Rumble and 3 on YouTube.
Yeah, but I'm one of them on YouTube.
I don't know if just having the chat popped out counts as actually being watching.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but I don't know if it counts for the host.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Of course, it is 10:30 at night.
11:30 here. I am getting ready to start wrapping this up. So
I'd tell you I had to go to bed because I got to get up in the morning, but I don't know why I'd have to get up at any particular time in the morning.
well, I need
Other
to
than
try
the
and
fact
get
I'm
sleep.
tired, but
Yeah, I have to see if I can get sleep for once, or if the dog's going to cooperate.
well, last week I was trying to be fairly regular in my bedtime so I could be up by 8 o'clock in the morning because they were working on this building. And I knew, because they were wanting to replace the windows and everything in all these apartments. And so I knew that at any time after 8 o'clock, somebody could be knocking on the door wanting in here. So I didn't want to be in bed till 10 o'clock and somebody be pounding on my door.
Right.
So I kind of arranged it last week to where I was up by 7 o'clock or so every day. So I was up and around and could let them in.
Oh.
Yeah, they got all my windows replaced. And
I forgot to show Ron I got his bracelet on. The silicone one he sent us.
oh,
Did you get yours?
don't think so.
You didn't get your Christmas card yet?
Mm-mm.
Yes, it was slow. Usually I get this when he mails something, I'll have it in a day or two. I didn't get it until Thursday.
Let
He
me
mailed
check
them
my
last Friday.
informed delivery. At least I don't think it did, but let me look. Yesterday, Friday? No. If he sent it to the place, you normally, no, I didn't get any. I haven't had any mail all week. So I don't know. I've got on a different wristband right now. It says don't. It says don't tread on me. I've had that thing. Oh gosh, almost. It's over 6 years old. I've had this silly thing here.
Yeah.
Got it at a convenience store, believe it or not. But it's one of my favorites.
That's what I got on my right arm. This right here, where is it? This one. It's one of the leather ones that Ron
was
giving out. It's got
I
the
have.
channel name on it. And then here's the ones that he sent out on the Christmas cards.
I have so many wristbands. If I put them all on, they'd probably go all the way up here.
Well, these are all leather except for the thin blue line one. This one here should have a cross on it. I gotta glue it back on. It broke. It came off. It has a cross that goes right between the two sets of metal beads that are on there.
I've got a wee Civivi one around here that's still in the package. Never wore it because I thought I might give it away.
Oh, and I got the little itty bitty silicone ring that I use as a wedding ring. I can't stand wearing metal rings. I did have a gold wedding ring. Ended up selling it back to getting my money back on it. I couldn't stand to wear it. I never could stand to have a metal ring on my finger. It just annoys me. And this one, if it gets caught on something or something, instead of ripping my finger off, it'll just tear apart. And you see my watch band, it's the silicone watch band. I mean, I'm not a big fan of.
Mine's just the Apple Sport band that comes. Yeah. So it's silicone rubber thing. Mm-hmm. That's the only kind I really like to wear because it doesn't irritate my skin.
Right. I don't like the feel of metal against my skin very, a whole lot of it. Like this
I
has
used to, but I can't deal with it no more.
Yeah. That's why I don't wear any of my necklaces. I have I have the shield pendant necklace that has the Templar cross on it with the Lord's Prayer because I don't like wearing that kind of stuff.
I stopped wearing those when I started getting a lot of skin tags around there because they'd get caught up in those skin tags. That time I got to be in my mid-40s. I generally don't like stuff hanging around my neck anymore anyway, but I do. I do have a few neck knives that I'll wear every once in a while, but that's a little bit different story.
Yeah, wearing my dog tags when I was in the Army didn't bother me because they hung down to like here. Mm-hmm. So, anyway, we're coming up on 3 hours, so I think we need to wrap this up. You got anything you want to plug?
Oh, let's see. I got some knife reviews that are due out tomorrow. I probably ought to stay up late and do those, actually. Or do them first thing in the morning. But I got a couple of Civivis that'll be released on the 18th, which is tomorrow. So need to get those videos out. And, of course, my members chat on Wednesday, Foul Territory. Right now it's looking like I'll be doing it on Thursday. But stay tuned. So, anyway, that's all I got going on.
Okay, cool. One of these days I'll get that holster video done. I keep wanting to do it and I keep forgetting.
Yeah.
I'll be wearing it and I'll forget to do it. I can just take it right off my belt when I keep forgetting to do it. I found out it doesn't just work for the pistol I ordered it for. It also works with my CZP-10C.
Nice.
It's the way they do their holsters. Their leather ones, you can use them for multiple different guns. As long as they're in the same general shape. Now, but this one, it's a combo Kydex and leather. It's got the Kydex shell with the leather backing, and it still works out. So it's always a plus when you can use a holster with more than one gun.
Yeah, for sure.
So, anyway, we're going to call it a night, so we will catch y'all that are still out there watching next week. And for anybody who watches in the replay, thanks for watching, and have a good night, folks. We will catch you later.
Bye.
As soon as I find where I put that stupid outro. Should I play one of the giveaway outros or the regular outro? What do you think, Gary?
It's up to you.
I asked your opinion, man.
Giveaway.
Go giveaway? Okay, we'll do it.
Now listen up, babies. I'm here to ride the train down the funky town. The Unloaded Media Channel is doing a giveaway once he hits 500 subscribers. For more information and details, check the description down below. And you too can be funky like a monkey.